Let's be honest, your company's most valuable intelligence, it's probably trapped. In this explainer, we're going to look at a Snowflake function that's basically a key to finally set it free by reading and understanding even the absolute messiest documents. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by digging into the core problem, then I'll introduce you to Snowflake's pretty awesome solution. After that, we'll see it in action, and then wrap up with exactly what you need to get started. Okay, let's start with a problem that I'm willing to bet every single person working in data has felt. You know that feeling, right? That frustration of knowing the answer is right there, but it's locked away where you just can't get to it. Seriously, just think about it for a second. How much of your organization's critical intelligence, the kind of stuff that could fuel huge decisions, is just sitting there, completely invisible to your analytics platforms right now? We're talking about all that juicy info stuck inside of things like 10K filings, legal contracts, even PowerPoint decks. And because it's in these formats, it's incredibly difficult, if not totally impossible, to query that data and analyze it at any kind of scale. So how do we actually bust open these data vaults? Well, Snowflake's answer is a function that is, you'll be happy to hear, surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful. And listen, this is not just about ripping out a giant wall of text. The whole point here is that it understands the document's original structure. You know, the tables, the headers, the columns. That is the real game changer. Now, what's really cool is you get two different modes. Think of them as two tools for two different jobs. Layout mode is your absolute go-to for preserving that all-important structure. OCR mode, on the other hand, is your best friend when you just need to rip the raw text out of old scanned documents, like contracts or manuals. So what does this all mean in practice? What can you actually build? Well, you can seriously level up your RAG pipelines for your LLMs, you can build searchable internal knowledge bases, and you can totally automate those painful document processing workflows. All right, enough talk. Let's see this thing in action. This is where the rubber really meets the road, and we get to see some tangible results with a couple of real-world examples. So our first challenge is a document that would normally take hours of just soul-crushing manual copy-pasting. We're talking about a public company's 10K filing, which is famous for being dense and full of really complex tables. And the fix? Check this out. It's just a single, beautiful line of SQL. You literally just point the function at the file, tell it which mode to use, and that's it. You're done. And boom, look at that result. A perfectly structured, totally queryable table pulled directly from that messy PDF. The columns, the rows, all the data, it's all there, ready for you to analyze right away, with zero manual work. Okay, that was impressive, but let's throw it a real curveball. What about an even trickier layout, like a scientific paper with multiple columns, headers, and an abstract? This is normally where traditional text extraction just completely falls apart. Incredibly, the function just figures it out. It intelligently follows the natural reading order, going from the first column to the second, and turns the entire page into clean markdown. Now, all that content is ready for summarization, search, you name it. But here's where it gets really powerful. This isn't just a one-off trick. The true magic happens when you start chaining it with other Snowflake's Cortex AI functions to build these sophisticated automated pipelines. So you can build this awesome automated flow. Imagine this. First, you parse a document to get the clean, structured content. Then, hey, if you need to, you can instantly translate it into another language. And for the final step, you can automatically classify it into categories like finance, legal, or health. And you do it all right inside of SQL. And yeah, we just mentioned translating because this thing is built for a global world. It's truly multilingual with native support for processing documents in over a dozen languages, which is just incredibly useful for any international organization. Okay, I bet you're thinking, this is cool. How do I start? So let's get into the essentials, the nuts and bolts of what you need to know to get this running in your own Snowflake environment. So here's a quick look at the requirements. Don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. It's built to handle big, common enterprise documents. So you're looking at file sizes up to 100 megabytes and up to 500 pages per document. Now let's talk about cost and performance, because that's super important. And here's the key takeaway, the little secret you might say. You do not need a massive warehouse for this. A smaller one, like a medium, works just as well. And the billing couldn't be simpler. You just pay per page you process. And there you have it. That's AI_parse document. It's so much more than just a function. It's a key to unlocking a whole universe of data that was basically invisible to you before. So the only real question left is, What knowledge are you going to unlock first?